dipped low, casting long shadows through the rustling mopane leaves, as Mbali, the regal lioness, surveyed her territory. Her scars, woven tales of survival, shimmered like whispered legends against a backdrop of fading light. Beside her, two young males, Tao and Duma, were learning the ways of their realm, innocence laced with instinct. A distant rustle shattered the stillness. Mbali's ears pricked, sensing an intrusion. With a poised grace born from countless encounters, she hustled towards the source, her growls reverberating like ancient thunder. Her sons watched, eyes wide, learning the cadence of their land, the importance of boundaries marked by fierce looks and powerful roars. As twilight wrapped the world in golden dust, the last birdsong faded into the evening. Mbali remained vigilant, the weight of her pride resting heavy on her shoulders. The whispers of a war-torn landscape enveloped them, the encroaching farmlands and the specter of poaching reminding her that each moment was a fragile dance against time. In the deepening dusk, beneath the vast African sky, life pulsed on, uncertain yet resolute. The legacy of Mbali wove through the air, a silent promise of resilience, urging her sons to carry it forward. The sun dipped lower, weaving shadows through the mopone's embrace, as Mbali's mind flickered back to a time when her pride thrived, a chorus of roars echoing among the trees. She felt the weight of their absence, sisters lost to snares, cubs perishing from poisoned carcasses. Each memory clung to her like dust, haunting the edges of her vision. Tao, curious and innocent, crouched near a dusty leopard tortoise, captivated by its slow, deliberate movements. "Tao," Mbali called softly, her voice laced with urgency. "Stay close." The young male's gaze flicked to her, innocence giving way to instinct as he approached. In this fading light, the air trembled with unspoken memories. The peaceful rustle of the grass belied the danger lurking beyond their small sanctuary, the specter of poaching a constant threat. Shadows lengthened beneath the trees, carrying whispers of loss and struggle. Mbali's heart swelled with a mix of sorrow and resolve. She had to teach Tao not just to survive, but to embrace the legacy of those who had fallen. As twilight wrapped around them, she knew their fight was far from over, and the echoes of the past would guide them forward. The air hung heavy with an unyielding heat, the sun pressing down on the Miombo woodlands. Dust motes floated like spirits in the shimmering haze, and the faint sound of cracking twigs marked the departure of hundreds of prey animals, fleeing northward in search of sparse blades of grass and hidden water. Mbali felt the shift before she saw it, a shift born from instinct. She knew their time in this refuge was waning. "Follow closely," she urged, her voice low but firm, as Tao and Duma fell in line beside her. The world felt fragile, each paw step deliberate against the parched earth. Under her watchful gaze, Tao crouched, his muscles tensing as he spied a solitary reedbuck grazing nearby. "Patience," she whispered, a lesson she hoped he would grasp. He took slow, tentative steps, mirroring her silent composure as they navigated the dust-laden air together. Above, vultures circled lazily, casting shadows over their journey, while nature exhaled in a restless sigh. The looming threats of drought and hunger pressed heavily upon them. But beneath Mbali's scarred exterior lay an unfaltering resolve, a promise to teach them both what it meant to survive, to carry onward amid the changing winds. The jagged, thorny brush loomed before them, a harsh reminder of their fragmented world. Mbali led her sons cautiously, the oppressive heat of the day fading into an uneasy dusk. As they navigated the dense thicket, Duma's youthful curiosity proved a dangerous folly. In an instant, he startled a nearby buffalo herd, a wall of muscle and panic erupting in violent motion. "Duma, back!" Mbali's voice cut through the air, but it was too late. The ground trembled beneath the thunder of hooves, and then silence filled the space where her son once stood, the chaos of nature's fury spilling over. Night descended, cold and unyielding. Mbali lay protectively beside Duma's broken body, tongue gently tracing his muzzle in a last farewell. Tao pressed against her flank, each shallow breath from Duma a grim reminder of their new reality. The only sound came from the distant cough of a leopard, a haunting echo against the stillness. Mbali's heart ached, unraveling at the seams. Yet within that pain flickered a fierce resolve. She would teach Tao everything she could before the inevitable stole them both away. In the shadowed vastness of the night, the ground beneath them felt both home and grave, a land rife with heartache and legacy. The sun dipped lower, casting elongated shadows across the dusty earth as Mbali led Tao through the parched landscape. Each step felt heavier, burdened by the absence of Duma, yet the weight of survival pressed them onward. Suddenly, the guttural growl of an engine broke the stillness, sending a jolt of tension through Mbali. A land cruiser appeared, its presence foreign yet strangely magnetic. She instinctively positioned herself between Tao and the vehicle, a protective guard against the unknown. Her eyes narrowed, observing the silhouette of two humans inside, one young and curious, the other older, seasoned, Chipo and Elijah. They raised their binoculars, their breaths caught in the rhythm of awe and respect. Yet within Mbali simmered an age-old resolve. The world had shifted beneath her paws, but in this moment, she sensed something new, a tether to those who cared, a chance of understanding her plight. Tao, sensing her tension, leaned closer, their bond thriving in this unexpected interlude. As the orange dusk painted the sky, the distant sounds of rustling leaves and soft winds filled their silence, a moment of fragile hope sparking amidst uncertainty, urging them to adapt and endure. The treetops swayed gently over the Save River, shadows dancing on the water's surface, when a sudden chill of tension rippled through the air. Mbali's scarred body stood alert, instincts honed by years of survival. The scent carried on the wind, unfamiliar male musk, thick with the promise of challenge. Ears turned, muscles coiled as she scanned the riverbank. Tao, at her side, shifted uneasily, the weight of his mother's watchful eyes urging him to remain still. The bushes trembled. From out of the underbrush, a coalition of young males emerged, eyes hard and predatory. They approached, paws crunching the earth, remnants of their confidence sharp against Mbali's defiance. With a roar that reverberated like rolling thunder, she lunged, intercepting the first attacker, claws raking against bone and fur. Tao watched in disbelief, the very essence of fear and instinct swirling within him. And then, amidst the melee, something primal awakened in Tao. He unleashed a roar, jagged and raw, a desperate sound that echoed through the valley, startling the attackers long enough for him to escape. Dust swirled, and the sky darkened, blood mingling with the river's edge, signaling a fierce new chapter in their story. Under the shelter of a sprawling fig tree, the night draped its heavy cloak over Mbali. The air was thick with stillness, a calm that belied the storm within her. Her breaths came shallow, labored, each ragged gasp a reminder of her wounds, blood mingling with the earth beneath her. Tao pressed against her flank, instinctively seeking comfort in her warmth. She groomed him tenderly, her tongue brushing away the remnants of their shared struggles. Each stroke was a silent lesson, nudging him toward independence. "Trust yourself, my son," she whispered, even as her strength waned, a fragile thread binding them together. With dawn creeping on the horizon, the first hints of light painted the world golden. The birds began to sing, a serenade welcoming the day. But Mbali lay still, her breath fading into the whisper of the wind. Tao nudged her unmoving body, uncertainty flooding his heart. Alone now, he rose, eyes scanning the vast, waking plains. The legacy of his mother surged within him. Mbali's spirit soared above, fierce and eternal. The world was vast and uncharted, and he must find his place within it. A lone roar echoing against the dawn. Tao moved with caution, each step weighing heavy with the absence of his mother. The dusk air was thick with the scent of fallen leaves and soft earth, disturbed only by the distant calls of jackals, echoing with an unsettling familiarity. He watched elephant herds move in the shadows, their mass a reminder of his vulnerability. Every rustle made him pause. He felt like a shadow himself, lingering in the spaces where Mbali had once filled with grace and strength. Then, the world held its breath, and he sniffed the cool breeze, searching for signs of food and safety. Meanwhile, on a distant hill, Chipo monitored her computer screen, frowning at Tao's wavering signals. "This first wet season will be his greatest challenge," she murmured to Elijah, her brow furrowed in concern. "Without Mbali, I fear he won't survive." The landscape breathed around Tao, whispering remnants of his mother's lessons in resilience. He stood still, contemplating the vastness before him, the comforting whisper of the wind urging him to carry her memory forward. In the silence, the world felt both heavy and luminous, a delicate balance between survival and loss. The moon hung high, casting silvery light across the savannah as Tao emerged from the thickets, his movements more sure than before. He had spent days absorbing the lessons of his mother's absence, the weight of survival anchoring him to the earth. When the herd of impala returned to the waterhole, Tao's senses ignited. He felt the quiet pulse of the night and the low whispers of rustling grass through the rhythmic cadence of his heart. Crouching low, he blended into the shadows, the instincts of generations coursing through him. With a fluid pounce, he targeted a weak male, the thrill of the chase igniting his spirit. The kill was clean, primal triumph igniting within him as he fed beneath the pristine night sky. From a distance, Chipo whispered to Elijah, a warmth spreading in her chest as she recorded the moment. "He's learning," her voice echoed into the calm night. A profound silence enveloped the land, and under the moonlit expanse, Tao stood solitary, the essence of resilience embodied, the legacy of Mbali whispering through his every breath as he savored his hard-won victory. The air crackled with the fading embers of a bushfire, the charred earth exhaling a quiet resilience. Tao moved through the lower woodlands, the once familiar scent of smoke mingling with the crisp notes of renewal as soft raindrops began to fall, kissing the ashy ground. Each step he took was deliberate, marked by a newfound confidence, the legacy of Mbali roiling within him like a powerful current. As he approached the southern hills, the sun's golden rays broke the horizon, casting a warm glow over his territory. Uncertainty melted away. In its place, a sense of purpose surged through him. He paused, lifting his head, and for the first time, he scent-marked the land. A claim, a statement of existence. With the wild winds whipping around him, Tao unleashed a full-throated roar, the sound echoing fiercely across the burned valley. It rang out, clear and potent, demanding recognition in the solitude of dawn. No answer came, but the silence felt full of promise. As the lush earth began to stir around him, Tao stood tall. This was his domain now, alive, scarred, yet breathing anew. As the first light of dawn filtered through the mist draping the acacia trees, Chipo ascended the familiar hilltop, heart pounding with anticipation. The landscape bore the scars of past fires, yet life pulsed vibrantly in the emerald undergrowth. A deep, resonant roar echoed across the plains, slicing through the morning stillness. It was Tao, now a formidable male with a flowing mane thickening under the sun's embrace. Peering through her binoculars, Chipo spotted him standing tall, yellow eyes scanning the horizon, a figure woven into the fabric of this wild world. He did not flee. Instead, he met her gaze, a quiet understanding thundering between them. In that moment, she felt the weight of Mbali's legacy, a story of survival, resilience, and fierce love that transcended time. The horizon stretched endlessly before him, a canvas for new beginnings. Tao stood steady, silhouetted against the golden sun, while the land whispered promises of renewal. In the rustling grass, the spirit of Mbali lived on, echoing in every roar that claimed this sacred home. The wild would remember her name, a heartbeat amongst the vast rhythms of life. Thank you for spending this moment with us. If kindness moves you, and the wild speaks to your heart, subscribe to Kind to Creatures and join our growing circle of compassion.